Man, let me be real with you up front, what I saw from Mazi Smith in that Rams preseason look was the kind of tape that puts a starting job on thin ice, and I don't want you to sleep on how fast things could shift. From the jump his first step pop felt missing, there were multiple snaps where he was literally a step off the line as soon as the ball was snapped, and when that happens at nose tackle you lose leverage before the play even begins. The tape keeps flashing the same flaws. When double teams come, Mazi seems to sink or give rather than anchor, and the result is him being washed out of gaps, leaving running lanes that backups didn't give up. Contrast that to Jay Toy, a 7th-round rookie, and Denzel Daxon, who both showed more consistent handwork, better shedding, and more willingness to take a block and fight through it. You saw Jay Toy consistently take 2 linemen and still influence the play. You saw Toy get hands on runners, create piles, and at times make plays that changed the run lanes for linebackers. Daxon showed a real shed move. He'd step, slip the hands, and get vertical. That's the kind of stuff that jumps off a tape room when the starters are being evaluated. With Mazi, what worried me most wasn't just one bad rep, it's the pattern: inconsistent pad level, feet that hop instead of plant, a lack of burst that forces him to take wider rush lanes and gives tackles angles to steer him outside. In this Rams game, the opposition was largely backups, which makes it worse. If you're not dominating backups at this stage, how do you expect to consistently win against starting caliber blockers in the season? And remember, Mazi was a first-round pick. The expectation is starter-level play and reliability against double teams. Right now the tape doesn't make that case. I'm not saying he's done or that a single preseason sample decides everything, but the coaching staff is going to have to choose whether they believe they can fix technique in short order or whether they start giving Jay Toy and others more looks. So I want to hear from you. Do you trust Mazi to turn this around and hold the starting nose role, or do you want the coaches to start leaning on Toy and Daxon more? Vote in the comments now. Mazi keeps starting or give Toy a chance. And if you want this channel to keep bringing breakdowns like this and to get these conversations trending so the team hears the fan pulse, hit that subscribe button and help us reach 16,000 subscribers. Smash the like button and drop your quick take below so I can feature the best comments in the next breakdown. When we actually roll the tape and dig into individual plays, the concerns about Mazi turn into clear teaching points and, unfortunately, repeated mistakes. Let's start with an early first quarter snap where the Rams run inside zone. Mazi lines up shaded over the center, but at the snap his feet hop instead of drive, and that one wasted beat is all it takes for the center and guard to lock him up in a perfect double. Rather than dropping his hips and anchoring, you see his pad level rise and his base narrow. That lets the double team roll him 3 yards off the line, widening the A-gap and giving their running back a clean read. Compare that to a nearly identical play in the second quarter with Jay Toy, and at the same spot, Jay shoots low, splits the double by striking the center's chest, and forces the guard to adjust his feet. Result? The back is redirected into a linebacker. That's textbook nose tackle work. On another series, 3rd and short, the Rams go heavy set and try to bully inside. Mazi again gets doubled, but this time he's not only moved, he gets turned, so his shoulders are parallel to the line. That's a nightmare for gap integrity because it opens a lane without resistance. You can almost see the linebacker hesitate because the fit is blown. Then there's a pass rush rep where he lines up shaded on the right side. Watch closely and you see him take too wide of an arc. The tackle just rides him past the pocket. No inside counter, no quick rip, the quarterback steps up comfortably. Now, to be fair, there was one nice moment. Late in the half, Mazi got a solid bull rush that forced the guard backward into the QB's space. But it's one flash in a sea of inconsistencies. Meanwhile, Denzel Daxon's reps stand out. He beats a guard clean with a swim move, sheds quickly, and nearly trips up the back in the backfield. Ernest Brown even flashes on a stunt where he loops inside and forces a scramble. That's why these side-by-side looks matter. When backups are winning more consistently, coaches take notice. So here's my challenge to you in the comments. If you had to pick just one backup to give more preseason snaps at nose tackle, Jay Toy, Daxon, or Brown, who's your guy? Type their name below and tell me why. And while you're at it, toss this video a like so we can push it out to more Cowboys fans who need to see exactly what's happening in the trenches. Now, when you take those plays and zoom out to the bigger picture, it's not just about one bad game, it's about what it means for the Cowboys' defensive line rotation moving forward. Mazi is penciled in as the starter at nose, but the NFL doesn't care about penciled depth charts if the tape says otherwise. Coaches are watching the same film we are, and they're asking, can we trust this guy on early downs against real starting offensive lines? If the answer's shaky, that's when you start tinkering. One option is to shift Mazi into a rotation role, limit his snaps to situations where he can focus on single gap penetration instead of holding up against double teams all game. That's not ideal for a first rounder, but it's better than forcing him into a role he can't handle yet. J-Toy is making a strong case to get more early down reps. He's stout, plays low, and doesn't mind the dirty work. Denzel Daxon is versatile, meaning he can bump between nose and 3-tech, which helps when you want to get creative with stunts and blitzes. And then there's the veterans Osa Odigizua, who thrives on quickness, and Solomon Thomas, who's got the experience to handle situational interior play. If Mazi doesn't clean up his technique, you might see a front where he's subbed out more often on first and second down, with Toy or Thomas anchoring instead. That changes not just the player's role, but the entire defensive identity suddenly. Your linebackers are playing behind different looks, your pass rush packages change, and your opponent's game plan adjusts. There's even a ripple effect on special teams and short yardage packages. A reliable nose tackle can be a weapon on goal line defense, but right now you can't pencil Mazi in there with full confidence. Now, I'm not saying he's getting cut, that's extreme and unlikely, but the range of outcomes is real, from regaining full starter status if he sharpens up, to being a rotation guy until further notice. And Cowboys Nation, this is where I want you in the mix. If you were Dan Quinn, would you give Mazi another start next week to prove himself, or would you start J-Toy to send a message? Drop Mazi starts or Toy starts in the comments so we can track the pulse of this fan base. And remember, hit that subscribe button. We're chasing that 16,000 milestone, and your clicks are what keep these deep dive breakdowns coming. Alright, so here's where I land after watching every snap and stacking Mazi's reps against the other interior guys. The talent's there, but the urgency has to match the situation. This is not a wait until mid-season and hope kind of problem. In the next week of practice and into the next preseason game, I want to see 5 specific things from him. 1. Consistent pad level, no more popping straight up at the snap and giving linemen your chest. 2. A quicker first step, the hopping has to go, because it's costing him the strike advantage. 3. Better hand usage, shed the blocker or at least lock him out so you can read and react, not get swallowed. For anchor on doubles, drop the hips, widen the base, force the pile sideways instead of backwards. And 5. Visible urgency, you can't let backups look hungrier than you. If he cleans up even 3 of those in the next game, you start to rebuild the confidence that he can be that early down stopper we drafted him to be. If not, the coaching staff has every reason to split those reps with J-Toy or Daxon and see what happens. I'll be watching the rotation in the next preseason outing like a hawk, and you better believe if we see Toy take the first series, that tells you the coaches are already shifting gears. On this channel, we're going to keep tracking it, from practice whispers to game tape, so you know exactly where things stand before week 1. Now, I want to hear from you one last time. Should we run a full, multi-part deep film series on the inside defensive line, breaking down every rep for Mazi, Toy, Daxon, and Osa? Type yes or no in the comments so I know if you're ready for that level of trench warfare coverage. And for the record, tell me one player you want to see get more snaps next game. I'll read through them all and feature the best takes in the next upload. Cowboys Nation, we're aiming for 16,000 subscribers, and if you've been riding with us this far into the video, you're clearly part of the diehards, so smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. This isn't just about one player, it's about setting the tone for a defense that can win in the trenches, and right now, every snap counts.